Hi everybody, it's Mr. McIntyre, and I'm here to give you a little memorization technique. The memorization technique we're going to go through right now, it's called repetition. You know, most of us learn things because we hear it over and over and over again. And what experts have said is if you say something and you actually hear yourself say it, that you can memorize 3 times faster than if you just try to go over it in your head. So I'm going to encourage you that when you try to learn your verses, do it out loud somewhere. I know it might seem weird, but get in a room, get by yourself, and when you memorize verses, say things out loud so you can hear yourself. We're going to start with actually the very first verse of the first lesson, Galatians 4:4. The verse says this, "But when the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his Son, born of a woman, born under the law." Now that's actually the longest verse of all 5 that you need to memorize for the first lesson. But what I want to do is take it down, break it down, and then be able to show you how you can repetitively say a phrase so that you can memorize it. Now, know this, some people are 10 people memorizers, some people need to repeat it 20 times, some people need to say it 30 times, but eventually it will stick. So let's go back to Galatians 4:4. But when the fullness of time had come, stop right there, say that phrase 10 times. But when the fullness of time had come, 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 but when the fullness of time had come. There, you said that just 10 times, but when the fullness of time had come. Some of you could take your paper right now, lay it down, and remember, but when the fullness of time had come. And that's what memorization is. Now, some of you say, well, I can't quite get it. Well, do it another 10 times. Maybe you're one of those 20-time kids. Now, move on to the next phrase. But when the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his Son. Stop. That's the next punctuation mark. God sent forth his Son. Say that 10 times. God sent forth his Son. If you want to, add the first phrase and just put on that little second phrase. In fact, you'll find out it's almost like a little rhyme. But when the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his Son. But when the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his Son. Say that 10 times. Many of you, just after that 10 times, will be able to take your paper, turn it over, and those 2 phrases will come right back to your mind. But when the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his Son. Now you move on to the next phrases. They're not very long, so you can probably try to memorize both of those together. Born of a woman, born under the law. Born of a woman, born under the law. Say that 10 times. Born of a woman, born under the law. Born of a woman, born under the law. Sometimes actions help you memorize, but make sure you're saying it out loud so you can hear it. Born of a woman, born under the law. Born of a woman, born under the law. Now after saying that 10 times, you put that together with what you memorized the first part. But when the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his Son. Born of a woman, born under the law. Now, we've been working on this for just over 2 minutes. Can you imagine how much you could memorize if you just spent 10 minutes per verse, per day for a week? There's no doubt many of you would have those verses memorized very easily. Does it take time? Yes, it does. Is it hard? No, it's not hard, but it will take a little bit of time. So I want to encourage you, just repeat, repeat, repeat. It's one of the easiest ways to memorize.